Hi guys, welcome to Phil's Aussie Motorsport Museum. I just received a package in the mail. I've been waiting for it for a couple of days. It's not usually what we do on this channel, but it's still got to do with cars, just like a miniature version of cars. So it's gonna be fun and it looks really good just from the packaging. So I'm gonna show you guys what it is. So this is what it is. Lamborghini. Look how cool the box just looks. This is how I got it out of the package. Like, how cool is that? But anyway, this is what's more interesting. That is what I'm going to be making. A Lamborghini out of Lego. It's almost 3,700 pieces and it says 18 plus, which that's pretty lucky because I'm 21. So hopefully I can do it. But yeah. That's going to be the final product when I'm done. Can't wait to get started. This is how it comes. I'm just going to lift the top of it off. So that's the top off. But this is how like all the Lego bricks and stuff are organised. It looks like kind of the inside of the motor, or the top of the motor, I'm guessing. But they're in individual sections. And then if I somehow open this, all the Lego bricks are stacked in there. But I think I'm more interested to see how big the instruction booklet's going to be. So I can see one of them at the bottom. Well, yeah, each one of these is filled with Lego. So there's 6 sections of Lego I'm going to have to build. But, oh my god. So, there's not one book, but two instruction books. Like, that's how thick the instructions are. Like, and they're both instructions. Like, I want to see how many steps this had. Oh my god. Hold on. I'm up to section 6. There's 1,083 steps to get to the final product. This is going to take me like 5 days, but I can't wait. This is going to be so much fun. Oh my god. The packaging just makes it so much more fun. So these are the cars that I've already completed out of Lego. I've got a Dodge Charger, a Ferrari, a Mustang, and a McLaren. So I'm going to see how all of these, especially probably the Ferrari, compares to building the Lamborghini, because the Lamborghini has double the amount of bricks that the Ferrari did. And like, these are cool. These ones, like the motors move, everything can like open, the steering wheel moves the wheels, same with the Dodge as well. Like, you can see that motor moving and the pistons and stuff. And even the undersides of it are all pretty detailed. So this is what the Lamborghini looks like after stage 1. So there's all these little gears and heaps of moving parts in it. It was really complicated to put together, especially this gearbox part right here. But if you can see the way it moves, it like all clicks over. And even all these move through here. That's the diff, and those move the rotors as well. So everything's moving so far. It looks really good. It took about 2.5 hours to complete just stage 1. But yeah, it's getting there. So we'll start stage 2 really. So this is what the Lamborghini looks like after stage 2 of building. So it's got the engine block all here. And as you can see, there's the engine block with all the pistons in there. And those actually all move. And they've got the Lamborghini logo on top. Just some more like stability stuff, I guess. And you can see some parts coming outwards from the sides, and the back suspension, which all moves as well. So there's all those little springs in there. But yeah, all of it's really moving. It's coming together really nicely. Very complicated underneath with all those little gears and stuff. But yeah, there's the amount of detail in the engine block is pretty cool, with all like those tubes and pipes going into it and stuff. But it looks really good. That's the gear shifter right there. So just leave that, and we're gonna start stage 3. I have officially finished book 1. We're moving on to book 2. Amen. Yes. Look at that. And this is what the car looks like after the whole of book 1. So we're still on part number 3 because we've got all these pieces to go still. But we got the chairs in, some side skirts going on. There's like a bit of a mechanism like going on here, but I don't even know what that's for yet. But yeah, let's finish part 3. I got home from work today and I checked the mail, and all my missing Lego pieces came in the mail. So now I can finally finish Lamborghini. How cute is this little package that my lost Lego pieces came in, and the letter. Here we go. So I marked which pieces I was missing and also where they go, so that way when they came in the mail, I could finally put them where they belong. So after box 4, you've pretty much done the whole rear of the car, and the whole back of the motor, where the motor is, just lifts up so you can see what's inside. How cool is that? But that's what it looks like so far. And I forgot to do a video on what box 3 was all about, but it was pretty much just the interior and all the chairs with the steering wheel. So yeah. We're about to start step number 5, and I just wanted to show you guys how I set up all the pieces. So I try to organize them in their categories so it makes it easier. And then what I do, for example, step 1, I'll grab every piece that I need so that I don't miss one. Hey guys, welcome. I have the finished Lamborghini, and I just wanted to show you guys some of the features that I didn't even know were included until I watched the YouTube videos, because in the instruction booklets they have at the start of each step like a blurb description with a little code for a YouTube video. So I was like, oh yeah, like that's cool. I finished making it like 11 o'clock at night, and I was like, oh, like this is sick, like this looks amazing, like I wanted to learn more about it. I was so excited, and I'd read in some of the blurbs that some things were meant to work, and I was like, oh, I don't know how they would work, so like maybe the YouTube videos can give me some insight. So I jumped on, watched some of the videos, and I was like mind blown by some of the stuff that this Lego can do. So the first thing at the end of the book was this little code that we get from Lego that gives you access to the owners only section of the Lego website. And when you go onto that section, so the code's located in underneath the hood, but when you go onto that section, it gives you access to like wallpapers, for like your phone, your MacBook gives you access to like massive posters that you can put up. So I was thinking that once I get a display cabinet for this and all my other Lego cars, I'm gonna like print out the posters and put it above it so it looks really cool. There's also like ringtones and stuff like that for your phone. So I was like, oh, that's like pretty cool. that only the owners get access to. So I was like, yeah, sick. Anyway, I was watching these YouTube videos at till 1 a.m. in the morning. So I'm just going to quickly take through what they YouTube videos pretty much went over. It was really interesting. So if you want to have a look at it, there's 13 episodes on the Lego YouTube page. And it pretty much just goes over how they designed it, how they partnered up with Lamborghini and communicated with them to create this design and to get what Lego wanted out of it, but also what Lamborghini wanted out of it. So it was cool to see how they communicated and how it all worked into this finished product. But anyway, the features of the Lambo. First of all, it comes with this little sign that says Cian. That just goes on a display piece. So we've got that. Then the hood obviously opens up, and inside there's the code and a little overnight stay kind of bag, which is cool because obviously when you're rich and you drive a Lamborghini, you're gonna have an overnight stay bag for when you go traveling and etc. So that was pretty cool. Then the next thing was the suspension. So obviously my other cars, if you've ever made a Lego car, they usually have some type of suspension. This has front and rear suspension, so I can push it down and all the suspension works, which is pretty cool. And they've allowed you to see it. So this back panel of the Lamborghini slides out, so it gives you access to view the motor and the suspension. So the reds are the suspension springs, so you can see them working when you move the wheels, and the V12 motor. You can't really see the pistons moving. You can if you really angle it and move the car at the same time, but it's a bit hard to see. But it's still cool to have that view. So that was a little side piece. I'll keep it off for now. So those were some of the main standard stuff that Lego gives you. But then there was some more complicated mechanisms, and I was like, oh, I had no idea they could put this into a Lego car. The first one, actually this is quite standard to be honest, but one of them is this little gear stick in the center console. I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty standard, but apparently there's drive, neutral, and reverse. Not sure if they work or not. I don't know. It moves in every position I have the gear stick in, but I just thought it was pretty cool. It has 3 different modes where it clicks into, so that's cool. Then obviously the steering works, so if I turn the steering wheel, the wheels move, so that was also pretty standard for a Lego car. But what really interested me the most was one being this rear spoiler. So when I was building it, you can see that something moved up and down, and I was like, oh cool, I wonder what that's going to be for. But turns out that Lego in the interior put a lever in the front passenger seat, and when you push and pull on it, it raises and lowers the rear spoiler. So if the car was in sports mode, like a normal sports car would be, the spoiler would come up, and that's how they incorporated it into the mechanism of the car. And I was like, that's so cool. You don't have to actually, you can lift it up from the back, but they gave you that, but they gave you a lever to do it for you. And I was like, oh, that's sick. Now, Lamborghini is really known for its scissor doors, and in the YouTube videos they really wanted to incorporate that, but it was hard with fitting the motor, the transmission, and making it look nice. But they made a different mechanism so that scissor doors would open and work by themselves. And I was like, oh my god, that's cool. And in my earlier videos I was talking about how there was a mechanism at the bottom of each side of the Lambo that I didn't know what was for, and I was like, why does this thing move? And I was showing you in the video where it moved and how it worked, and I was like, I don't know how what this would got to do with the car. And I was like, it moves, so why would it need those little mechanism things? And in the videos it shows you that there's 2 other levers at the back of each side, and when you push them, the scissor doors open. And I was like, oh my goodness, so I don't need to manually open them with my hands. I can push down these 2 levers and they come up by themselves. And I was like, that is sick. But I think the thing that impressed me, and I was literally at 1 a.m. in the morning screaming because I was mind blown, but was the transmission. In the book, they had this massive blurb, and in the YouTube video, they always exaggerated the gearbox in this car. So they put a window in the bottom so you could see it. And I was like, okay, so what's so important about this transmission? They're like, it's 8-speed, and it works. And I was like, okay, I don't know how it works, but it's there. So, and I put a window there, so it must be important. But I was like, whatever. But then in the video, the guy has the Lamborghini up on its side like this, and he was like moving something in the front of the Lambo, like where the seats were, and the transmission was moving, and I was like, how is he doing that? And it was making a clicking noise, and I was like, oh, maybe it's the gear stick. So I'm moving that little gear stick in the center console, and nothing was happening, and I was like, oh, what the hell? Maybe I built it wrong, because that was probably the most complicated part of the whole build, that transmission. I redid it like 4 times because it was so confusing. But we got there. Anyway, I was like, how is he making his transmission move? I was like, what have I done wrong? So I was like watching the video, and they're talking about how all modern day sports cars have paddle shift behind the steering wheel. And I was like, paddle shift, sports car, 8-speed transmission. And I was like thinking there for like 10 minutes, and I was like, how is this gonna work? And then I like hit me, and I was like, if this Lego car has paddle shift behind the steering wheel that works, praise to Lego. Like, that is like, whoever designed this thing needs a pay rise. So I was looking, and I can like, looking behind the steering wheel, and I don't know if you guys can see, probably it's a little bit hard for you, but behind the steering column, where the steering wheel is, there's like 2 pieces of Lego on either side of it, and 2 little pieces, probably about like this big, on either side of the steering wheel. And I was like, oh my god, if I push one of these and this transmission moves, I don't even know how to react. So I had it up on its side, and I was like, okay, moment of truth. Put my fingers on either side of like the paddle shift, and I started pushing it, and I was like, that moves. The transmission in a Lego Lamborghini works from moving the paddle shift that's next to the steering wheel. And I'm there at 1 o'clock in the morning looking at this thing, and I'm like, absolute masterpiece. Masterpiece. I was like, oh my god, this is going on display. And I was just so excited, and I was like, there's no way. I messaged my brother straight away, and I was like, William, there's paddle shift in a Lego Lamborghini. William's like, no way, I have to see it. So that was pretty cool, and I was like, this is so exciting, like, wow. But yeah, I was like, this is what I mean. I'm getting excited again, because I don't even know how this is working. I can't even put it into words, but it's just cool. And I was like, yeah, this is sick. So also, I just wanted to show you that like the whole drivetrain, so like all those little gears and all the stuff to make the wheels move. So if I move this one gear, you can see how all of the little gears are moving in the transmission and part of the drivetrain. And the thing that I found really cool was that it actually works like a real diff or like would in a car. So if I was to move this wheel one way, the opposite wheel would move the opposite way. And you can see how it works when I move the gear on all of the wheels. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. So now it stays in display in my room, and I keep it looking like that. So the scissor doors are open. But I just couldn't get enough of it, and I was like, there's got to be another car that Lego has created similar to this that I can build, because I just wanted to do another one. I was like, if I can build another transmission in a car with paddle shift, that's sick. So I went online to the Lego website, and I was looking at all the cars, and there was stuff like the Porsche and like a Ford Ranger and a Jeep, and I was like, oh, like they're cool, but I'm really into my sports or muscle cars. And then I came across one that was the Bugatti, the Bugatti Chiron or something. And I clicked on it and it was sold out, and I was like, oh, that's a bit shattering. But I like read up on it and I was like, oh, it's limited edition and they're not making it anymore. It said that they were going to stop creating the Bugatti, and I was like, oh, that's a bit shattering. And it was like pretty much similar price to the Lamborghini. So I was like, if it's similar price, it's going to be similar to the Lamborghini. It was actually a bit more expensive than the Lamborghini now that I think about it. But I was like, oh, like this would be so cool to have. Like this is the car that I want. So I looked online. It was sold out on the Lego website, sold out on every single website that I visited, and I just like plugged it into Google, searched eBay, nothing came up, and I was like, oh my god, like I'm never going to be able to find the Bugatti because it's sold out on the Lego website and they're the ones who produce it, and everywhere else that's secondary to that is sold out. And I just like was searching and everyone was saying it's hard to find, and I was like, oh no, like, and it's not being created again. So I was like, damn, like I'm never going to be able to get it. And I was so shattered. And then this was in the middle of lockdown too, so it was not like I could go to the Lego store and just be like, hey, like, do you have the Bugatti? Because I really want it. Like, I couldn't even do that. But then lockdown ended, and it was the first weekend where everybody was allowed to go out shopping, and it was a Saturday, and it was a really dumb decision, but we were like, oh, let's go to Chadstone, like the busiest, biggest shopping centre in Melbourne. We're going to Chadstone, and on the first day out of lockdown, and it was a horrible decision. Went there and there was like 20-minute wait lines to get into some of the stores. It was just busy. Couldn't find a car park, nothing. And I was like, this is worse than Christmas. Very horrible. But we spent a lot of money that day, and there was the third and final floor of Chadstone, the very top floor, and there was the Lego Centre there. And I was like, oh, like maybe we can go have a look. I might find another car that I like that I didn't see on the website, or something new that they've come out with, and I just want to go have a look. So we went up there and they had like windows, and I was looking through the windows and I could see the Lamborghini and some other cars and other Lego Technic products, and I was like, oh, like maybe I can just ask someone about the Bugatti, like when they're going to stop production, or like if they know anyone that's selling it, or if they're selling it, like maybe they can give me some information. So I went there and I walked in and I bolted, like busy, packed shopping centre, bolted to the end of this store, grabbed the box like this, and I walked to the register, didn't even look at the price, walked to the register, paid for it, walked through the busy shopping centre, in my car, sat in my car for the whole hour and something ride home, holding the box like this, because I was so excited that I found it. Like, look at it. Like, the box is a similar shape and everything, and I was like, this is sick. I found it, and like the box was a bit ruined and stuff, but I did not care, didn't even look at it. Paid for it, and I was like, this is why I can't be trusted with adult money, but paid for it, and I was like, I can't wait to get home and build it. I haven't started it. I've opened it, but I haven't started it yet. But if you want to see me do another YouTube video on building the Bugatti, let me know, because if you liked this one, it'll probably be very similar to the Bugatti. But I was like, yes, got the Lambo, got the Bugatti, like, I've got it. But yeah, I think overall Lamborghini was a very enjoyable experience. It took a lot of hours to build. I reckon each step, it was 5 steps, 6 in total, but the 6th one was just the wheels and tires. But the other 5 steps took about 3 to 4 hours each, between sorting the pieces out and building it, and like going over, making sure I hadn't made a mistake, because you put one piece in the wrong spot or like the wrong way, you'll know about it later on. And I did that a couple times, and lucky I could fix it. But yeah, it was very intense, but I do recommend if you're confident, like, have a go. And I know it's a bit expensive, but it was definitely worth the price for me anyway. I think the box in itself is just a display piece. But yeah, if you want to see me build the Bugatti, because I was excited to buy it, let alone have it here, let me know. So, but thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a good day. Wow, was I gonna end on that? Anyway.